My entitled sister-in-law completely ruined my pregnancy announcement, my gender reveal, and then told me what I was not allowed to name my daughter. When I named her what I wanted to name her, my sister-in-law literally tried to rename my daughter and get the rest of my family to use this fake name that she came up with to refer to my daughter as. And they started using this fake name as well. That is when I lost it and reached my true breaking point and I went ape. Here's what happened. Subscribe on YouTube with notifications turned on. I'm a 36-year-old female and I found out that I am pregnant. I am overjoyed as I have always wanted a child of my own. I focused on my career and my life, and since I am single, I wasn't sure if having a baby would ever happen. I was so excited to tell my family the big news. My older sister has one child, my nephew who is 7 months old. My brother is married, but he and his wife have made it very clear they will always be child-free. Last night we had a family dinner and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share the news. Since this will be my only child, I wanted to make it special and I also wanted to involve my nephew. I got a shirt that reads, "This is what an awesome big cousin looks like." I slipped away with my nephew before dinner and had a special moment with him while I told him he was going to have a cousin. My nephew was very excited and put on the shirt. He put a sweater on over it and I told him he could take off the sweater whenever he wanted a dinner. In the middle of dinner, he took off the sweater and waited for someone to notice. Soon my sister jumped up and excitedly screamed when she saw the shirt. They all then assumed it was my sister-in-law. I wasn't hurt by them assuming this and I kind of expected it because she is married. I was hurt because my sister-in-law didn't try to correct them. She just went along with it and began to rub her flat belly while laughing. I must have looked completely hurt because my mother yelled at me to stop being so rude and congratulate them. I tried to explain that I was the one who gave my nephew the shirt. They all didn't even hear me and continued to fawn over my sister-in-law. My brother stood frozen in shock, just asking his wife if she was serious. I got up and I went home. I received multiple texts from this point from them telling me what a jerk I am for making this about me. They said things like it wasn't my sister-in-law's fault and that I was jealous. I didn't reply to anything and I just cried myself to sleep. This morning my sister-in-law must have finally let it slip that she is not pregnant. They have now all called me to apologize, saying that they just got caught up in the moment. They said I shouldn't have left dinner and that it's my fault I wasn't clear enough and that I was the one who was pregnant. My mom said I could have a redo dinner so I could get it right and they would all act surprised. My sister-in-law sent me a message that said that the way I chose to announce was how she wanted to do it if she ever got pregnant. She said that since she is not ever having a child, that she just wanted to experience what the moment would be like. She also said that I can have my chance at the redo dinner. I told them no, that I will not be doing a redo. Every single person has now told me I am being selfish and a jerk because I won't let them make it right. To me, there is no fixing this. I will eventually forgive them, but I do not want a second announcement so they feel better. So am I the jerk for being upset and leaving when my sister-in-law stole my pregnancy announcement? So this is only where things get started. There is an update that says it's been 4 months since the original post and it has been a wild ride. I am now almost 7 months pregnant and I am expecting a baby girl. After everything that happened, I tried going low contact with my family. I didn't want to deal with their drama and chose to instead focus on my pregnancy. That didn't last long because my brother showed up at my door a few days later after the dinner with his suitcase. He needed some time to work things out and I was happy to give him a place to stay while he did. My sister-in-law and the other family members began calling both of us nonstop during this time. They were begging my brother to talk to his wife. Eventually she convinced him that it was all a joke that had just went horribly wrong. I knew this was total BS and that she was lying. My brother seemed so lost and broken without her though. He went back home after staying with me for only a short time. Before he left, I had talked to him about everything and told him all of my concerns. He said that he loves his wife and that it was all just a misunderstanding. He told me I was cruel for holding a joke gone wrong against her and that we both need to get over it. I couldn't force him to listen to a reason, so I just let him go. After he left, I went back on low contact with most of my family and I've been much happier since. I realized based on the response to my previous post how toxic my family actually is. I decided to focus on the people in my life that were truly there to support me and my baby. My parents keep trying to contact me, but it has become less frequent lately. Yesterday I received news that many predicted. My sister-in-law is now actually pregnant. I found out when I received an invitation to her upcoming gender reveal Zoom party in my email. I haven't responded yet, and I haven't heard any news from my family other than the invitation. I'm torn between laughing hysterically and crying for my brother. I truly don't know what to think. Fast forwarding into the future, my brother and sister-in-law's gender reveal Zoom party took place today. For the last few weeks, I had been debating on whether or not I should attend it. I had been doing well with being no contact with most of my family, but I couldn't seem to let go of that feeling I was being selfish and not supportive of my brother. So I decided to reach out and talk. I think I decided this mainly out of curiosity but also loneliness. It's hard being pregnant alone and stuck in a lockdown. I reached out to them online. My brother and his wife are definitely pregnant. They started to try shortly after he returned home from staying with me. My sister-in-law told me that my brother changed his mind about having children after a long talk they had about their future. I personally think there is more to this story, but I don't have all the details yet. They did tell me they were sorry about what happened with my pregnancy announcement. My brother asked me if we would all just move forward and if I would come to their gender reveal. I agreed and decided to let it go. I also started to speak with my parents again. My parents did not apologize for their part in what happened in my pregnancy announcement. They didn't even really acknowledge that anything had happened at all between us. They don't ask me much about my pregnancy or my baby. They have only been interested enough to ask 2 questions. They asked what my child's last name will be since I'm a single mother and what the gender is. I told them I will not be sharing the gender with my baby until birth. Today was a gender reveal Zoom party. We were instructed to wear blue or pink depending on what we thought the gender would be. I chose to wear pink since the only dress I own that fits me right now happens to be pink. As all the attendees logged onto the Zoom call, everything seemed to be going rather well. My parents were in head-to-toe blue and said it was because they are excited that my brother is finally carrying on the family name. My sister-in-law and brother were dressed opposite in all pink. Everyone seemed happy and ready to celebrate. My sister-in-law had chosen to pop a large balloon filled with confetti that will reveal the gender. She popped the balloon and out came a cloud of blue confetti. My parents began to cry and cheer at the announcement. My brother and everyone else was smiling and clapping. My sister-in-law, on the other hand, was not. The next few moments were filled with all the guests saying their congratulations. My sister-in-law stayed perfectly silent throughout all of it. She seemed somewhat emotionless until I piped up to say my congratulations. I had said to them both, "Congratulations on your little boy. His cousin can't wait to meet him." My sister-in-law went insane. She began screaming that I was trying to steal the spotlight away from her by mentioning my baby. She said that I was being jealous and petty over my birth announcement disaster. She then asked me, "What are you effing having anyway?" She demanded to know the gender of my baby and began asking if it's a girl. She then said that I must be having a girl since I'm wearing a pink dress. My parents and other family members did little to stop my sister-in-law's meltdown. I chose not to fight with her or to try to reason with her. I just exited the call and I let it go. I don't know what my sister-in-law's problem was or why she behaved this way. I don't care, and I'm not going to let things like this bother anymore. It was a bad idea to break no contact. Was I the jerk? My sister-in-law broke into my Amazon account to find out the gender of my baby. My sister-in-law's drama seems to be progressively getting worse. She found out that I am expecting a girl about 2 weeks ago. She found the gender by logging into my Amazon account without my permission and looked through my private lists. I had given my brother the login information from my Prime account so that he could watch a show that he wanted to see. I had not expected her to log into the main account and view my private wish list/past orders. I was extremely hurt and devastated that she went this far. She took another special moment from me because she went ahead and told the rest of my family about the gender. She actually seemed proud of herself for doing this and thinks that it is justified because I was keeping secrets, as she put it. She actually thinks this is a funny story and blames pregnancy brain for any of her poor behavior. I finally snapped and I told her what she did was appalling and deeply troubling. I told her that she has ruined every major moment in my pregnancy, and I cannot believe that she is proud of it. I told her that she should be ashamed of herself and that I am embarrassed for her. I told her that at this point I will not be allowing my daughter to call her aunt because she does not deserve it. She had a meltdown after this and accused me of trying to get her to miscarry. My brother and other family members tried to jump in to defend her, but I made it clear that I will remove them from my life if they continue to defend her. They have since shut their mouths and begun to agree with me. My sister-in-law then gave me a half-hearted apology and said that we need to make up for the sake of the kids. I do want to be a part of my new baby nephew's life, so I do feel a bit stuck in this situation. I agreed to just let it go and move on. I made it clear to her and everyone else that they are on very thin ice. Since everyone knows now that I am having a girl, I have refused to tell anyone the name that I intend to give to my daughter. I at least want to keep that part for me to announce when I have my child. I haven't even written it down because I fear someone will find out. My sister-in-law has asked me many times, but I just tell her I haven't decided yet. This last week she started sending me girls' names that she is calling dibs on. I reminded her that she is having a boy, but she seems to be in denial about that fact. She likes to say we won't really know the gender for certain until the babies are born. Most of the names are ones that I have no interest in as we have very different styles. She sends me about 4 to 5 names off her list every day. I generally just ignore her, but yesterday she actually sent me the name that I will be naming my daughter. The name is my late great-grandmother's name, and I have wanted to use the name since I was a teenager. I will not be changing my mind about naming my daughter this name. I will be announcing it once she is born. I do not care if this starts a war, as this is the hill I am willing to die on. I know this is just going to cause an issue when I share her name. At least this time I have time to prepare for her meltdown. I want to be a part of my brother and nephew's lives, but I am starting to see that it's just not worth it. So here is what happened when I announced my little girl's name. My little girl is finally here and doing very well. She is so beautiful and more amazing than anything I could have imagined. She is a handful already, but I am loving every second of it. You will be happy to know that I did not allow my sister-in-law to bully me into picking another name. My daughter is named after my great-grandmother and it fits her perfectly. I announced my daughter's birth and her name in a message to my family while I was in the hospital. My sister-in-law was not happy about my name choice. She was even angrier when she heard the nickname I chose for my daughter. It's a shortened version of her name that was also listed on my sister-in-law's dibs list. She posted on social media about my daughter's birth, and in the announcement she referred to my baby by a different name. She says that it's her own special nickname for my daughter. Think something like if her name was Grace, she decided to nickname her Gilly. It is very weird and doesn't even resemble my child's name at all. I told her immediately to stop and to call my daughter by her proper name or the nickname that I chose. I knew she was only doing it to bother me, and getting upset would just encourage her more. She stopped for a short time but never removed the social media post. I had my family over to meet the baby a week after I came home from the hospital. That's when sister-in-law started up with her games again. She purchased a bear for my daughter with Gilly embroidered across it. After opening that stupid bear, my family members laughed and told me to stop being so controlling. They told me to get over it. And in my sister-in-law's nickname Gilly is cute. They too started to use the Gilly nickname. I felt like I couldn't even name my own baby and they thought I should just be okay with it. I realized then that none of them are ever going to change how they treat me. I saw that what I was allowing to happen was just as bad as what they were doing. I was allowing myself to be belittled, hurt, and used time and time again. The family members who did nothing are just as bad in my opinion because they never even tried to defend me. I've put up with a lot for my family in the past. I have had to get over so many past issues and pain because I pushed past it in the name of family. Now this was happening again, but this time it was in front of my daughter. What if they started treating my daughter the same way when she is older? I threw the bear in the garbage in front of them and I told them to leave my house. They are all just as bad as my sister-in-law in my opinion. I couldn't bring myself to yell or scream, but I stood firm. I removed my daughter from my mother's arms and showed them all the door. There was a lot of name-calling, but I stood my ground. I am done. I have not spoke to them since. They haven't even tried to contact me. I intend to write a letter or something to them to say everything I feel. I feel like I need that closure. I intend to go no contact with them all from now on. I have spoken to my boss and there is an opportunity for me to move out east to work in a new branch of the company. I intend to accept the role and move there during my maternity leave. My plans are not yet final, but I believe that a fresh start in a new place could be just the thing I need. I need to do what's best for myself and my daughter. Regardless of family or anything, I am extremely happy right now. My daughter is the greatest little baby imaginable. I am so overjoyed to be her mother. So who was the jerk in this situation? Something about this whole situation was strangely sad. It was like the OP just wasn't heard no matter how many times she tried to be heard. And every time she gave them the benefit of the doubt again or tried to come back together, they took advantage of it again and again and again. Like the family just knew that she would always be there, so they just pushed her to be in whatever corner they wanted her to be in. Hopefully she does end up getting that job far away and is able to start a whole new life with people surrounding her that don't just disregard her in the type of way that her family does here. Of all the things in this story, the part where the sister-in-law is trying to rename the baby is just so bizarre. She wasn't even having a girl, but yet didn't want the OP to name her baby that? I mean, when the story starts off, she doesn't even want a baby at all. So what difference does it make to her? It's one of those mentalities where it's like, if I don't have it, you can't have it. But yet you can only do this to the OP because it's okay to bully her, but it's not okay to bully anyone else. At least that's what I assume from this. And also the fact that the brother staying with the OP is the reason why he decided he wanted to have kids later on is kind of strange, because if there's some context there, we didn't get to see what it was. But from the way the OP describes it, it sounds like there wasn't anything there that would have made him change his mind about having kids. So anyway, let me know what you would do if this was your family, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe on the Am I the Jerk YouTube. Hit the bell to turn on notifications, and if you're into podcasts, make sure you follow the podcast as well. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.